The 4-minute mile was going to be broken either by John Landy in Australia or Wes Santee in America or by me, and I was determined that I would do it. The main memory was whether the weather was too bad for me to be able to attempt it. If you are running with a high wind and a sticky track, then your time would have to be 4 seconds faster than it would be on an ideal day. And I was watching the flag on the church just in the Iffley Road, north of the track, and it was fluttering very strongly. But then, just before we decided to have the race, it fluttered less strongly, and I realized that the weather was improving perhaps enough to make the full effort. And so I told Chris Brasher and Chris Chataway, it's on. It was the year after Everest had been climbed, the year after the coronation, but we were then struggling, I think, in this country to find a new kind of an initiative. Perhaps they said, well, the record can't go on indefinitely improving, so there must come a point when it stops. That might be at 4 minutes. So the Swedes gave up, saying, look, it's not possible, we can't do it. And John Landy ran 4 minutes and 2 seconds several times. And then he said, it's like a brick wall. Now, as a medical student, it didn't seem to me logical that it was not possible to knock off a couple of seconds. On the first lap, I felt so full of running because I hadn't done any training deliberately for about 5 days. But then in the third lap, we slipped back to 3 minutes and 1 second. And Chris Chataway then went into the lead. But I felt that I had to do the last lap in under 60 seconds. I felt almost that the finish line was receding from me. It was so difficult to put all my energy. I was just able to reach the line, and then I collapsed because others were holding me up. And about a minute or two later, there was the announcement. The result of Event 8 is R.G. Bannister of Exeter and Merton colleges in a time which, subject to ratification, will be a new British record, a new all-comers record, a new empire record, a new European record, and a new world record in a time of 3. And that was when all the crowd exploded and cheered, and nothing more was heard. We do all look for challenges, especially when we're young, and I was very glad that it could be done on the Oxford track.